Welcome to a short training series on resilience. Over the last few months, and especially over the last few weeks, looking at what our country has been going through and is still going to go through, I had on my heart to encourage you to develop resilience. Now, it's one thing to encourage and have a pep talk, and it's a different thing to actually give tools to develop practically resilience. I would like over the next sessions to share some insights, science and research based, on developing resilience in your life. For those who know her, Valorie Burton wrote a good book on the rules of resilience. I'd actually invite you to have a read if you do have time and find the book. As for me, I would like to spend some time on what it is, on the pillars it rests on, and how you can build your personal resilience system. Now, let's make sure we're talking about the same thing, right? So, what is resilience? Well, in simple words, it's the ability to get back on your feet and not give up or be completely broken when things are tough. Resilience is the ability to bounce back and successfully navigate challenges, adversity, and change. When things do not go the way I want them to, resilience helps me navigate the season and bounce back. When I face opposition, resilience helps me not fall into despair or self pity. When change is inevitable, resilience helps me adapt, bounce back, and thrive in the new context. A more elaborate definition says that it is the process, and outcome of successfully adapting to difficult, challenging life experiences, especially through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility and adjustments to external and internal demands. When prices rise, resilience helps me adjust my spending behavior to current situation, so I adapt. When my colleague is annoying, resilience helps me adapt my mind, regulate my emotions, and adjust my behavior so that I can still be respectful and I can still be a good team player. See, resilience is not just a nice thing to have, it is an essential character trait in self leadership to develop. Now, pause this video, and reflect for yourself on the following question. What would greater resilience in your life enable you to do? And you probably have noticed I wrote on the slide, what would greater resilience in your life enable you to do? Well, in this case, resilience allows me to not start all over again the recording, but to carry on and to just say, well, there is a typo there. Be careful. Do not copy that sentence. Just hear what I said instead. Now, I hope that the time of reflection you just had gave you more perspective on your circumstances and your need for resilience. Now, in pairs, after I share my examples, take the time to answer the following questions. Where in your life do you need resilience and why? How does resilience look like in the following different area of life? Your relationships, your health, your work, and your faith. Now, to me, I need resilience and I want to develop resilience in every area of my life because life is not easy and life is not going to be easier. I am not going to be younger. I'm not going to be stronger. I'm not going to be more beautiful. As John Maxwell said, it's uphill all the way. Anything worthwhile in life is uphill. So anything worthwhile requires an investment, requires time, requires energy, requires dedication, resources, and is absolutely not going to be easy. Jesus himself promises us that in this life we will face trials, tribulations, persecution, temptations, challenges. So This is not paradise. This is not our final destination. This is not the place to settle in, right? And so, therefore, on my life journey, until I go to my forever home, I will need resilience. Now, what does resilience look like in my relationships? Well, for starters, I am an imperfect person married to an imperfect man. So imagine the daily opportunities for challenges, right? Well, yes, marriage is sweet and romantic and satisfying and intimate, but it is also hard work. It's not about me and my personal wants and dreams. Aina did not sign up to make all my dreams come true. He did come with his own dreams, which some of them probably I might not want. So ultimately, marriage is about God and honoring Him through our relationship, through the way we treat each other, we love each other, we care for each other, we protect each other, we provide for each other. Just as Jesus loved us and cares for us and protects us and provides for us. So, yes, I definitely need resilience because when things are hard, getting out of it is not an option. Another example is parenting. Parenting is not for the faint hearted, right? Yesterday, I'm recording this today. So, the day before I recorded this, I was babysitting 1 month old baby Christelle. I was about to work next to her, got all my, well, to study actually. I was studying while I was taking care of her. And then she started to cry. She wanted to drink some milk. So I gave her some milk. Afterwards, she had to burp. So I helped her burp. Then she pooped, like the ginormous poop. So I changed her. And then she cried. So I had to walk around with her. And then she wanted to drink some more milk. So back again to milk. You know what? At the end of the day, I was glad I could give her back to her mom. But my children, I can't give them back to anyone, right? This is a lifetime commitment with its ups and with its downs, right? Now, hear what I'm saying. I love my children, but parenting is not always easy. So I need resilience to enjoy the process of mothering my daughters and to be able to adapt to their life seasons so I can be the best mom I can be in their lives, knowing that God handpicked me to mother them. Of all the billions of women out there, I'm the one God chose to be their mom. Whoa. Well, I could spend more hours really talking about how I need resilience to be patient with my friends whom I disappoint many times and who disappoint me at other times. In the area of health, navigating perimenopause, hormonal changes, contagious disease I would rather not have, but because I live around people who suddenly get sick, it's part of the deal. Wearing braces and the constant pain it brings after a dentist visit, well, all of that requires a level of resilience. So I don't spend my time complaining, crying, feeling poor me, or cursing the last person who was sick and passed me her flu. Okay? Resilience at work? Well, try pioneering or entrepreneurship without resilience. Well, you would also end up without a job or a project because both require resilience. Try to face financial challenges without resilience, and it will be the reason for never again to go out of bed, right? Resilience is necessary to keep on planning, to keep on communicating, adapting to changes due to someone's bad choices, usually mine or someone else. But we live in a fallen world, right? Remember? And even just to keep up with excellence takes resilience because you don't just cruise your way through excellence. In the area of faith, because faith is believing the unseen, what is still to come. Faith requires a beautiful set of resilience, perseverance, patience, trusting and not leaning on my feelings, living with integrity, doing the right thing when everybody does the wrong thing, or even when nobody sees me, living differently from the world standards. All of that require some resilience. Well, I said a lot. And you can tell that it's something dear to my heart. So now, pause the video and share where in your life you need resilience and how resilience looks like in different areas of your life. Try to be precise. When you're precise, it helps you develop resilience in that specific area. All right, so now you can pause and you can start talking in pairs. Welcome back from your pair sharing. Now, Valorie Burton shares that resilience rests on three supporting pillars. And if you want to grow and develop your resilience, you do well to strengthen your supporting pillars. So, your personal system is going to be strengthening those supporting pillars. Now, pillar number one is adaptive skills. They are about how you think, how you react, and how you behave in response to challenges and opportunities. They determine the energy you bring to problem solving and they help you formulate your strategy as you respond to adversity and opportunity. Now, these are inside things, they're inner resources and they involve your mind, your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual states. Because they're invisible mostly and intangible, it's quite hard to pinpoint like a person has them, but they're developed internally and they can be learned, good news, and they can be honed through awareness and practice. Now, if you've dealt with a fair number of challenges, which I believe you have, then you've likely developed adaptive skills over time through necessity. But if you have been shielded from or spared adversity, if you've been overprotected and never been exposed to any kind of adversity or challenges, then you may not have had the opportunity to learn or practice these adaptive skills. Now, I want to give you a glimpse of what they are because we will talk some more next time about them in part two. The adaptive skills include responsibility and personal ownership, thought awareness, optimistic mindset and thinking style, energy, and being able to manage your energy, authenticity and humility, hope and optimism, self coaching, strength leveraging, locus of control. If you don't know what it means, show up for part two. Faith, goal setting and planning, self compassion, and flexibility. So they include many skills happening inside of someone. And therefore, it's hard to tell things about people to say how much goal setting and planning a person has, although we can know when they have no planning. But even that, these are adaptive skills that are developed over time through challenges and adversity, and that we can choose to develop intentionally. Okay, I was so excited about that one. But let's move to number two. The second pillar is protective resources. Now, sometimes those protective resources are yours by virtue of the family or the community or even the country you were born in. Just because you belong to a certain family, you were born in a certain family or in a certain country, sometimes you benefit from having directly protective resources, and sometimes you don't. If you are, then this is a reason to be grateful and to be humble because these are things you were born into. You did not choose them, you did not work for them, you've been blessed with them. And so this is a good moment to just pause and thank God, acknowledge that, oh, wow, even when I didn't do anything, I was born into all of this. Thank you, God. Not all of them come to us this way, but many of them do come to us this way. And if you do not have them yet, the good news is that you can intentionally build these resources over time. Okay, so we can all build them. Some have them already, but everyone can build them. And they're called protective resources because they can shield you from the damaging effects of stressors. Basically, they can protect you from the negative impacts of adversity and they can make it easier to navigate challenges. So, everyone faces stressors Everyone faces adversity, everyone faces challenges, but those who have more protective resources are more shielded, okay? The impact is less powerful on them. Now, what do they include, right? Good question. They include financial and work resources, they include education and training, they include experience, they include environment you're in, they include health, they include access to resources, and they include supportive relationships. And here I have to say supportive relationships is the most significant protective resource. Having, okay, I cannot wait for part three to talk about that, but having one person in your life who believes you can do it and who is supportive of you is an essential protective resources, a resource that helps you be resilient in life. Okay. And then finally, let's move to pillar number three. Resilience rests on the third pillar of preventive measures. They reduce or they lessen the impact of adversity. They are all about thinking ahead and taking care of your future self. This is the skill of stepping into the shoes of your future self and asking, what will I wish I had done? And whatever you answer usually leads you to the best choice to make in the present, in the here and now. Again, I cannot wait for part four to talk some more about it. But a simple example of preventing measure would be, well, tomorrow I have a big day. I have a presentation. Or tomorrow I have a long day. I'm teaching from this time to this time. I need energy. Now, the preventive measure I'm going to take is to go to bed early tonight and have a good night of sleep, a good restful night of sleep. This is what tomorrow I will wish I had done the day before, right? And so these are simple things like that. When I'm going to eat this morning, while having breakfast, I thought about my day. I'm going to work out today. I'm going to study. I have a quiz. I'm going to work. I have presentations to make. What will I wish I had done at 12 o'clock? Right? Well, I will wish I had eaten a good, solid breakfast with proteins. And so in the morning, I take the time to make some eggs, to drink some milk, and to eat whatever it is that I need to eat so that my body at 12 says, thank you, younger self. You shielded me from challenges, which I would not even call challenges because this is just predicted things. There are many things we know are coming our way, and we can prevent and lessen the impact of that on ourselves. Anyways, let's move forward. So the question here is, what is your level of resilience? How do you know if you're resilient in a particular area? Well, we had the different pillars showing you what it should be, what are the components of each pillar. So you might already start to know, do I have that or not in my life? But let me take you to a quick test. What is your level of resilience? Now, after I explain what's going on, you can pause the video and reflect. This is a personal work to learn to coach yourself. That means asking yourself questions to move forward. So, if you are completely honest right now, which I hope you are, because honesty and humility, authenticity and humility are part of the adaptive skills we want to have. What is your current resilience level in each of these areas? Now, there are actually four levels of resilience. Number one is thriving. At the thriving level, well, when you face a challenge, you are doing even better than before. And perhaps you are even showing little evidence of the stressor's impact on your well being, on your productivity, and on your effectiveness. The other level of resilience, number two, is functioning or surviving. Well, in this case, when you face a challenge, you are functioning, um, but you're just surviving or you're recovering from the setback and you're maintaining your level of well being, your productivity, or effectiveness. And then level three and four, sorry, fall under the unresilience part. So level three is malfunctioning. Okay. In the case of malfunctioning, when facing a challenge, you are just unable to successfully adapt to challenging life experiences and you lack a personal system that enables you to withstand, to adapt, or to recover from stressor. At number four, level number four, non functioning, when you face a challenge in this case, you may utterly fail in a situation and you are completely unable to bounce back. Okay. So these are the definition of the four levels of resilience: thriving, functioning, surviving, and then unresilience, malfunctioning, and number four, non functioning. So, in those areas, relationships, finances, work, health, spiritual life, you can add other areas if you want to. But what is your current level? And then another question for you to bring home. So, this is something you could actually do home and take the time to reflect on. The challenge that most needs your resilience right now, what do you want your resilience level to be? The right answer is not one, because sometimes you're at four and maybe you just want to be free, less, not completely broken, but something better. And it's fine to want what you want. The question is, what do you want, right? Now considering your current level of resilience in that level, what would it take to move up a level? Okay. And so I'll let you reflect on that. I'll let you pray about that. But most of all, please do take that step. I will see you in part one to talk some more about part two, sorry. I will see you in part two to talk some more about adaptive skills. And I hope you are quite excited about developing those skills in your life. Now, just as I wrap this up, resilience enables me to overcome obstacles and make the most of opportunities by God's grace. Why don't you repeat that? Yeah. So, well, as we wrap up, on a side note, for those who would like to strengthen their faith, which is under the adaptive skills pillar, I have started a series on essential doctrines and application in daily life extracted from, because I'm just sharing from the book and based on Paul Tripp's book, Do You Believe? After closing Leadership Academy recently, a new personal project has started as I explore Substack and I just combine loves of my life: God, practical, intentional living, writing, and raising leaders. So, if that's something you think you would benefit from, you can scan there. You can scan the following QR code, and I will see you there. So, thank you for your time and see you next time.